Let's hear from Noah Krzeszewski, the managing partner of Kreindler & Kreindler, who hopefully will share with us some of his story and his evolution as a business owner as well, and what led you to Esquire Bank.
It really was an evolution that brought us to Esquire, and we ended up there out of necessity, but we're happy that we did. Our firm has been around for about 70 years. We were always extremely proud of the fact that we were a self-financed firm, as Ari mentioned before. There are pros and cons to that, but what it basically meant was that the partners in our firm had between $5 and $10 million of their own money out at any time in case costs and just in operating the firm. We, for all but the last 3 or 4 years, had been with one of the largest commercial banks in the country. We had a great relationship with them. It was a banking relationship. It was a lending relationship. It helped us run our law firm. But as the practice of law changed and the requirement to invest and to run a practice more like a business changed, the relationship with the bank really changed. And we began seeing it maybe about 10 years ago. Now, our firm in our history has probably settled somewhere between $10 and $20 billion worth of cases and run those cases through our prior banking relationship. And you'd expect that kind of business that you're providing to a bank would carry forward year to year, and it would actually buy you some love. But what we found happening was that they really were less interested in the relationship and less interested in the business side of our practice and more interested in our individual and personal deposits. So they began to impose some fairly onerous covenants each year. For example, at a certain point in time, we could only borrow an amount equal to amount that the partners had invested in the investment arm of the bank, which meant that we felt like we were borrowing our own money. They had cleanup covenants every year. They began reducing our line of credit. They didn't offer some of the products like a case cost line that would actually free up cash flow and put more money into our pockets. And the biggest issue became how they looked at our firm and its financial health. They looked at the last year and the year before. And like most firms historically, we have ebbs and flows in our practice and our cash flow and our success and our profit. And we handle major aviation disaster cases. I remember a period of time when we had 3 major U.S. crashes in our firm. This is quite a few years ago. And we probably had 500 individual cases, which would have represented literally hundreds of millions of dollars in fees. But the prior year, while we're working on these cases, our revenue was relatively flat. And we were actually into the bank. And they saw it as a negative. They didn't look at our inventory. They looked at our history.